Hello, this is Jill. Hey, look what we have here. We have a toilet, and it is a clogged toilet. You can kind of see the water standing up high like that. Well, this toilet is clogged, and today I'll show you how to unclog it. And I'm just going to use a simple plunger. Now, this may seem straightforward, but a lot of people do have problems getting their toilets unclogged, and hopefully I'll show you some tips today that will help you out. Now, there are many different kinds of plungers you could purchase. This one is simply a force cup plunger. There's a couple of different versions of this. There's the simplest, just the cup plunger. I like personally this flange plunger. This one you can actually just kind of take out this flange part, and this kind of conforms to the shape of your toilet bowl. You could also just push it back in to act more like a traditional cup plunger for, let's say, flatter, if you have a drain with a flatter surface. But I really do like these flange ones for toilets. You can also get bellow or accordion type plungers. Those work really well too. It's really up to your preference and what works best. So before you use a plunger, I would just kind of examine it for cracks, because with age, your plunger can get old and it can crack. And if you do have cracks or holes in your plunger, it won't work nearly as well. So the next thing you want to do, you just want to look at the situation of your particular toilet. Now this one, the water is up to about here, which isn't that bad. Sometimes toilets overflow and the water's all the way to the surface. Now just a little hint. The newer toilets typically don't overflow because there's not enough water that's added to each flush. The older toilets, if you have an older toilet, you might get a lot of water overflowing. And if that's a persistent problem, you may want to switch out to a newer toilet. So in most cases, the clogs in toilets are actually they're pretty shallow in the trap portion of the toilet themselves, where the piping's kind of curves and before it goes in the floor. But it could be a little deeper down where the flange and wax ring meet, where the toilet meets the floor. Or if you're unlucky, it could be deeper in your plumbing, and the plunger may not work very effectively. If it's deeper, you may need to call a plumber, or maybe if you have a snake, you could try a snake as well. But again, the first step is just to kind of look at your clog. If there's a lot of paper in the way, sometimes you could just move the paper aside with your plunger to get into the hole of your toilet. If there's a lot of debris down lower, you may actually have to clean it out before you could effectively unclog it. And I'd recommend just get some durable gloves and take the debris out as best you can. You do need some water in your toilet to use a plunger. Here we have plenty of water. It's kind of backed up. But if the clog is low, you may and the water's low, you may want to add some water with a bucket so you could use the plunger. So with most of the debris out of the way, you just kind of want to submerge your plunger, not straight down. You kind of want to add water into the plunger. Again, if the water's too high, you may want to take a little bucket and remove a little bit of the water so you won't get more spillage when you do this, because you're adding both air and plunger volume to your volume. So just kind of tip it over here, tip it down. Now there's still a little bit of air in here, and so the first time you push, this flange portion will go into the hole, and the first time you push, you're not going to push too fast. You're just going to do it slowly to get that air out of there. And you can see it kind of bubbles, and now it's filled with water. And now you can just go slowly at first, not too aggressively, and watch the water. You don't want it to spill out as best you can. And so we're just kind of pushing it, and you're listening to it. And there you go. The clog is gone. So you'll kind of hear a little bit of a different sound. You may get more debris coming up. Don't worry about that. Once the clog is gone, it'll hopefully flush away. And then what I typically do, I do a new flush, kind of rinse out the plunger as best I can, get that flush out. With clean water, I just kind of initially rinse out the plunger try to get a lot of the debris out of the hole, and then I'll take it someplace where I could wash out the plunger more effectively. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button at the bottom of the screen, and even consider subscribing to my channel. I'll have many more videos to come. Bye-bye.